All right. What do you got? We're back as always. Statman Cam here.
Yep.
Sami Spreads here. And myself,
Yeah.
Mr. 4-1. The first time that anybody on this show, by the way, has ever taken more than 3 mortal locks, I think. Well, at least nobody's ever taken
That's incorrect.
Nobody's ever
that's
taken
wrong.
The first statement was wrong in our first week doing this show. Well, I guess in first week in What Do You Got history, that's someone's taken over 3. That is correct. But we had built the house. We both took 4 more of the locks our first week.
Okay, so technically, though, everything that I said was right.
It's true.
Well, the first thing you said was wrong. You said this is the first time anyone's taken over 3.
No, it's not, because this is a completely different show. This is What Do You Got?
Yeah. Okay, whatever. I do want to bring up a point that
4-1, by the way.
I have yet to make. Yeah.
How did you
I'm
do?
gonna stop. I went 0-3. I was very much humbled. It was actually hilarious. I was rewatching the show, and I think every single pick I gave out, other than one that was my mortal lock, hit, and then my mortal locks and the one other pick missed. Even when I was giving my mortal locks that I like Falcons +3, but I loved the under, and for some reason I had the under as my mortal locks, but that under cleared with ease.
Yeah,
But what I wanted to say is I think I'm done doing mortal lock offs with you, Joe, because I think I've lost every single mortal lock off that we've had.
I'm just going to try my best to continue baiting, mortal lock offs then. I'll just get into a mortal lock off with you based on what you say and then make you get on your head about it.
Yeah, I think what you're going to end up doing this show is we might have to start with me on mortal locks, just because last time I did so well. And then you'll just fade it with your second mortal lock pick. You can erase everything that you've already written down for your mortal locks, and you'll just take the opposite of whatever I take.
I might do that, dude. I don't know. Always stay on your toes. You never
know. Keep everybody guessing on that.
The good news for me, though, is go ahead.
Go ahead, Mr. No computer this week. Got to use your cell phone, freezing up every 5 seconds.
Yeah. The good news for me is this is going to be another unedited show. And the last time we had an unedited show, I did go 10-0.
Science.
That's true, but Cam wasn't in the unedited show.
That's also true.
I'm still sticking on the fact that I need Statman Cam here, not only to moderate, but to just be that reasonable voice in the ear to let me know what to take. Even though he might not even have a
so I might go. Yeah, so I might do awful again. So who knows? As you kind of slightly mentioned, I am on my phone, laptop, deader the dead, RIP, just so gone. My dog, please stop. Sorry. And then so I'm on the cell phone for this show. It should be interesting.
Yeah,
let's jump in. Let's jump in. First, Joe, do we have a sponsor?
Yes, I was actually just about to bring this up. Thanks to my 4-1 week, I had a couple people hit me up this week saying it was a pretty ballsy move for me to add those picks after having an 0-3 week. It was pretty ballsy for me to add onto my card extra picks, especially picks that was fading the supposedly Mr. Perfect over there, Mr. Undefeated. So credit to me. I had people hit me up left.
I would say that. I feel like sorry to interrupt, but I feel like you have nothing to lose at this point by adding more and more locks.
Well, I just put my balls on the table. That's all. I just put my balls on the table, and it worked out for me. I might have to do it again.
And your balls are still on the table. Yeah, the balls still on the table.
Yeah. Hey, listen, if I have to hang brain on the table to win some money, I will. That's fine. But it's not about hanging brain all the time when you are enjoying your time with a crisp, cold Miller Latte. It's not Miller Lite, folks. It's Miller Latte. Crisp, cold, the people's gold. This is actually something that I've had up my sleeve for years now. Been trying to work with the Miller Lite brand back and forth, Joey Digest, Miller Lite. We've been working on it for quite some time now, and they were really just waiting for a tremendous performance. They were waiting for me to step up, be the man they know I am, and enjoy a crisp, cold, people's gold Miller Latte. It's fantastic. You can drink it whenever you want. If you're down in the dumps about going 0-3 in your mortal locks like Sam did last week, or if you're trying to celebrate a nice 4-1 victory after you put your balls on the table like a man does. Chris Cole, the People's Gold Miller Latte.
Thank you, Miller Latte, for sponsoring this week's episode.
That's a huge get.
Yeah, that is a big get.
And to clarify, it's not Miller Lite. It's Miller Latte.
Miller Latte.
Joey Digest. Yeah. It's a collab.
JD.
Well, let's jump in to this week of NFL football. We will see how our boys do this week. Joey Publix against Sam the Sharp. The first game that we're going to talk about is the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Very interesting spread on this one after Minnesota wasn't even close to covering against Jacksonville last week. Tampa Bay comes in at a 6.5-point favorite. I know Sam loves that. Sam, what do you got?
Yeah, I actually don't really love it. I know
Really?
Tampa's coming off a bye. Yeah, Tampa's been struggling lately. They don't look like a good team. I know the Giants have been kind of on a run. That was kind of the start of Tampa Bay kind of looking a little bad. They came off a great win versus Carolina. They played the Giants at home. They were like 10 to 13-point favorites, something like that, only won by 2. So they've been kind of in a my brain just froze.
They're in as much of a rut as your brain is right now.
I wanted to say grouch, but they're in a slump. I don't even know what a grouch means. Is that word?
Sounds like you need Miller Latte over there.
Yeah, I might need a couple. So anyway, 56% of the bets are on Tampa Bay, 59% of the money's on Tampa Bay. The line is still 6.5, as you had stated. It hasn't really moved. I think, as you said, though, the Vikings looked terrible last week for the Jags. They do have to travel down to Tampa. Tampa's coming off a bye. They're rested. They've been at home in their own house, sleeping in their own beds. So I will take Tampa minus 6.5. I like that it's under 7 already, so you already have the hook off for you. So, it is a lot of points, shit ton of points, but I'll still take Tampa Bay.
I hate this line because if, as we've said over the course of this show, my theory on home teams always getting just off the bat a field goal in their favor, that says to me that Vegas is looking at a Buccaneers win of 10 points or more. And I just find that to be completely crazy.
No.
What?
Reverse.
No.
But the Bucs are home, so it would be 3.5.
Bucs are home.
The Bucs are home in their favor. They're minus 6.5-point favorites right now. So you add on top of that the field goal.
I thought you said Vegas already does add the field goal.
He's saying that he said during a non-pandemic year, but they have fans. They have fans there.
Either way, I think that this, regardless, I think that this is too many points. The Vikings defense is doggy-do. They're really bad. But I haven't seen enough from the Bucs. They do seem to play better at home and not in prime time. This is a 1 o'clock game. Tom Brady coming off the bye. It's a really tough line to call. I think I'm going to stay away from the line, and I think that I'm actually going to jump on the under. I know Sam doesn't have his laptop out right now, but according to Action Network, looks like about 55% of the money is on the under, but only 33% of the bets are on the under. So that says to me that there's some sharp money there. So I'm going to take the under. It also opened at 51.5 and has actually moved up to 52.5 regardless of the money being there. So I think I'm going to take the under on that one and trust.
Wait, if only 33% of the money's on the under, that means the sharps are on the over.
Sorry, 33% of the bets and 52% of the money is on the over, the under.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, no, gotcha. I think that there's sharp money on that, so I think I'm going to stick with the under on that for sure. And that'll be my pick for
Love that.
I love that. One quick note on the Vikings. I did mention Justin Jefferson's potential rookie of the year last week. He went off once again, 9 receptions, 121 yards, and a touchdown. He's right, very, very close to Justin Herbert's odds currently for rookie of the year. Plus 195 for Jefferson after being plus 850 last week. Herbert down to minus 260. Moving on to the next game, Kansas City and Miami. Traveling to Miami, Kansas City is a 7-point favorite. Miami had their struggles last week against Cincinnati as well. Ended up pulling it out despite, not so great play from Tua. Their defense really held the Bengals in check. There was a crazy brawl that got Tyler Boyd ejected. Joe, what do you got in this game?
So I think that the Chiefs kind of had a little bit of a scare against the Broncos, and the Broncos weren't even playing good. Like, they were playing like shit, and they had a little bit of a scare there. So I might say that there's one of two ways that you can look at this. You can either say that maybe the Chiefs like just are kind of riding way too high, in the sense that everybody kind of knows that they're the consensus number one, should easily repeat, the best team in football, no doubt about it. And they're going to kind of like sleepwalk through some games, especially with the fact that their playoff picture is pretty much set in stone as far as I know. But coming on the road, I would say that I would rather go with the other side of the narrative, saying that they are a Super Bowl team. They will be another Super Bowl team. Andy Reid does not let his guys sleepwalk 2 weeks in a row. They know that they kind of like let loose the other night against the Broncos at home. I think that they come in, and I think that Miami might have a little – I know that Cincinnati's defense has been decent all year. They've been a cover machine all year. But I think that Miami might be a little bit struggling with Tua right now. And so I think Patrick Mahomes kind of just shows up, this so-called promised future QB, and Tua and balls out. So I'll take the Chiefs minus 7.5.
Yeah. So I had two ways of looking at last week's game. The Broncos, obviously, historically, in the last 10 years, have had a great defense. But, it is a divisional foe. So I kind of throw divisional games out the window. If you win a divisional game, you earned it. No matter if the team that you're playing is 2-14 or 16 versus 16-0, like it's going to be a close matchup every time. The teams know each other. They know their strengths. They know their weaknesses. It's going to be a close game. Obviously, Miami is not Kansas City's division, but Miami does have a good defense, very solid defense. I think it's like the number 1 and 2 scoring defense in the NFL. They've been absurd this year. This is off the top of the head, but Miami has a very, very tough schedule coming up. They're currently 8-4, and obviously they play the Chiefs. I think they play the Steelers the week after, and then they conclude the season with the Patriots and the Bills. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong on the Steelers, but I believe that's who they play next.
They play the Dolphins. The Dolphins play the Patriots, the Raiders, and the Bills. Or after the
Raiders, that's the team. Okay.
Yeah.
So, as an 8-4 team with 7 teams making the playoffs, I think you're going to need at least 9 wins. And the Dolphins, with their tough schedule coming up, especially other divisional games as well, no easy game left on the schedule. I think they're really going to be clamoring for this one. They're going to fight for it. They're going to want it. Line movement also dictates that, this is kind of a game that I would take Miami in. 59% of the bets are on Kansas City. 74% of the money's on Kansas City. Yet it dropped from 7.5 to 7. So I will buy it back up to 7.5 and take Miami. I do think Kansas City ultimately ends up winning, but 7.5 is a lot of points on the road for Kansas City. I like Miami there.
I actually really like that too. Very possible Dolphins were doing the good old look ahead to the Chiefs this week, not really paying attention to the lowly Bengals last week. We are moving on to Indianapolis at Las Vegas. That one's coming in at a 2.5 or 3-point line, with Indianapolis being favored. Indy's been a little bit hot lately. They got a little bit lucky last week against Houston, but it takes some luck to win. Sam, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm kind of ready. I really liked the Raiders after they beat the Chiefs. I really liked them after they lost the Chiefs as well, but looked good versus the Chiefs. And now I'm kind of ready to call them frauds. On the other side, I'm also a little ready to call Indy frauds. So this is a fraud off in my mind. Yeah, FO. As you said, the line opened at 2.5 for Indy. It moved up to 3 in their favor. 52% of the bets are actually on the Raiders. I don't know if that's because, people in Vegas just run and they like to bet on their own home team. 90% of the money is on the Colts. So if we know where, if anyone's watched this show before, they kind of know where I'm headed on this one. I'm a sharp guy. I like to place my bets where the sharps place their bets. and therefore I will buy the hook down from 3 to 2.5 and take Indy minus 2.5. Joe, what do you got?
I think that this one, from the betting percentage standpoint, it's a little too close to say that it's necessarily. I mean, there is a lot of money on there. There's a lot of money. Yeah, no, I agree with everything that you said. I think the Colts are a little they're closer to a lowercase f compared to what the Raiders have looked like the past 2 weeks, which is a capital F. I thought
capital FR.
Yeah, they were the one mortal lock that I lost last week. Credit to me for going 4-1. I thought that they were going to come out and steamroll the Jets. They didn't, and they looked just as bad against the Jets as they did against the Falcons, two teams that are kind of like, I mean, the Falcons are okay the latter half of the season, but I mean, with all that said, they let the Jets offense put in work too. So it's tough to see for the Raiders right now. Things just aren't clicking. I think I have to go with the Colts as well. But I think another line here that you want to take note of, 29% of the bets on the under, yet it looks like almost 60 to 65% of the money is on the under. Sorry, 29% of the bets are on the under, and 60% of the money is on the under. Therefore, I will also likely be taking the under in this game, which kind of makes sense because both offenses are a little questionable right now.
You know what's funny? When you proposed your mortal lock off last week, the one game I hated the most was that Raiders pick, and I just couldn't bring myself to betting on the Jets. Now I'm kicking myself for it because I would have had a 1-3 week.
That is a fun fact.
3 week.
That's a fun
fun fact.
It's a hidden fact, actually.
Also, a little credit to the Raiders, credit to me. I have the Jets to pick first in the NFL draft plus 1250 from preseason. So credit to the Jets for tanking. Credit to the Raiders for scoring on that last play.
You should send some cash in an envelope to Greg Williams for what he did.
I may. He's currently unemployed, so I may do that.
Yeah.
That's going to be an interesting game. I do agree that that's a fraud off. The Raiders just seem not to be motivated to play against anybody except the Chiefs.
You know who's also kind of back?
Who's back?
T.Y. Hilton, low-key
a little bit back.
He's had 12 receptions in his last 2 games after having 10 in his 4 previous. So he's kind of back.
He basically had a reception off with Kiki Cutie last week, who's also back. So
yeah, that was sick.
That was pretty fun. We are moving on to another very interesting game, a tale of 2 different midweek games. Buffalo and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh coming off their first loss and immediately are underdogs. Coming up as a 1.5 dog to Pittsburgh, or to Buffalo. I'm sorry. Buffalo looked amazing in San Francisco in what looked like a Vegas fake out, but was really just the Bills were just the better team very clearly. Nick Mullins, not good. Bills, good. Joe, what do you got?
Yeah, I was all over the Bills last week. And I know that San Fran was kind of put in a little bit of a tough position with their move to Arizona and everything. So I don't know if I can necessarily – they looked good. Josh Allen balled out.
They look good.
And I think that the Steelers – I mean, it's tough. You don't want to, completely throw the axe at the Steelers right now because the Washington game was a classic letdown spot for an 11-0 team. What did you say?
Coming off a short week. Coming off a really odd week where they played on a Wednesday. So also
I don't want to completely disregard everything that they've been able to accomplish this season, but I do think that their strength of schedule, if this were run like the committee for college football, like the Steelers, I would be like, oh, whatever. They look like a Coastal Carolina to me right now compared to some other teams. So I think
BYU.
They did.
That game.
So I think I have to ride the hot hand here and not go with expect the 11-1 team to show that they're pissed off that they lost to the Washington football team. I think that I would rather go with the narrative of the Bills look like they're kind of getting things together at the right time. So I'm going to go with the Bills here. if you can get just the money line, like if you can get the money down to having the same juice on a money line pick, I'd rather take that than any kind of points. But I will take the spread at what it is right now, which it looks like at some places is -1.5 for the Bills. So I'll take that, and I'll probably. I'm not going to touch the over/under in this game. I'll just take the Bills. I like the Bills.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you there. This line has opened at Bills were 2.5-point dogs. Now they're 1.5-point favorites. So that's 4 whole points this line has moved by. And there isn't really that much money swinging towards one side. 57% of the bets are on the Bills and 52% of the money is on the Bills. So it's shocking to see the line move that much without a real injury or anything like that. So I think what Vegas is kind of trying to get at is they want people to bet on the Steelers here. They want it just because they're moving that line to get you to bet on the Steelers. And because of that, I'm going to take the Bills as well. I agree with you. I think you could probably get money line at -130, and I'd rather pay that juice than have it at 1.5. Just in case, you know what I might sprinkle? This could be a wild sprinkle. I might sprinkle on a tie.
Wow.
I think we've only had one tie this year, so we are definitely due for one.
We definitely had one tie this year.
Yeah.
Eagles.
Yeah, I believe that's been the only
so
tie.
I might sprinkle a bit on a tie, but otherwise, which would lead you to believe why wouldn't you take the Steelers plus 1.5? I do like the Bills either way. I think this is a game that could maybe tie, but if it doesn't, the Bills win.
I don't know if it's the Millar Latte coming in right now, but I love that. Like, I think I'm definitely gonna bet that. I love that so much I may make it a mortal lock.
Plus
I'm not.
10,000 more to lock on tie. Your units would be through the roof. I also have a side note, just a personal question for you guys. I have a redraft league where I fell from the 1 to the 3 seed in the final week of the season. I was devastated, I know, but I have Josh Allen, who's been amazing for me, and Herbert, who's kind of been good for me. Herbert plays Atlanta at home, and obviously Josh Allen against the Steelers. Who should I?
That's a Herbert spot. That's a Herbert spot.
That's a Herbert what spot?
It's a Herbert spot. It's not an Allen spot.
Oh, I would be taking. The Chargers are done. They're out of the playoffs, right?
Yeah, Herbert wants to win Rookie of the Year. If he wants to win, he's got to play well. Atlanta's defense.
I don't know if his coaches want him to win Rookie of the Year.
I think they do.
I don't know. They might be running the ball a lot in that game.
Why would you take Allen? I'm just curious. Why would you take Allen versus the Steelers?
All day.
Because the Steelers front is what is the best part about them.
Yeah.
So
the Steelers front is the best part. So you're going to be throwing the ball.
Still got Joe Hayden and Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, no, I'm not touching that.
I'd go Josh Allen. This is a dumb conversation.
We can revisit that. Just so all viewers understand, just to Sam's point about that line moving so much in the Steelers-Bills game, a lot of sports books take in sharp action earlier in the week. They limit to about 4 figures so that once they've settled on a number on Sunday, that's when they can start accepting big bets. So those lines move a lot with not a ton of money early in the week, just so everybody understands, because that's a pretty big line move for a game like that. We are moving on to our last game that we're going to talk about, Baltimore and Cleveland. Cleveland putting the shellacking on Tennessee in the first half last week, almost gave up the entire lead, but did look good. Baker Mayfield easily with his best game of the season so far. They are coming in as 2.5-point dogs to Baltimore, who looked pretty good against the Cowboys. They had their moments where they were iffy. Justin Tucker missed his first field goal under 40 yards in a long time.
Announcers jinx.
Big announcers jinx. Sam, what do you got?
Baltimore opened as a 3-point favorite. They're now 2.5. There's still 53% of the money on the Ravens. 53% of the bets are on the Ravens. 59% of the money is on the Ravens. I still am not sold on the Ravens. I'm also not sold on the Browns, but I'm really, really not sold on the Ravens. Browns are what, 9-3, 10-3?
10-3. I think they're 10-3. Yeah. No, they can't be.
No, they're
we've had
definitely
13 weeks, right?
The
This is
Ravens.
week 14.
The Ravens are.
Browns are 9-3.
The Browns are 9-3. The Ravens are 7-5.
That's a sneaky 7-5 for how bad we've thought about the Ravens the past couple of weeks. Just saying.
Yeah.
Win totals.
As on a personal level, as a Patriots fan, because I know they're going to go 10-6 and make a Super Bowl run, I need the Ravens to lose a game because the Patriots have this tiebreaker versus them. And they're obviously not catching the Browns. I don't think they're catching the Colts if Colts win this week. So I need the Ravens to lose. And therefore, no football background or whatever, just all heart, I am going to root for the Browns, and I am going to take the Browns, and I'm going to buy it up to 3 just so I have the hook. Joe, what do you got?
This is a gross game.
So I just quick looked up the weather in Cleveland in hopes that we could continue watching just terrible weather games on Sundays in Cleveland. Looks like it's just going to be a little cloudy, 41 degrees.
That's a bummer.
I think that Baker Mayfield, and I texted you guys about this. I texted a couple other group of friends as well, mentioning that
you have more friends than just us.
You wouldn't believe it, and I have no way of proving it, but I do. I promise.
Okay.
But my thing with my shtick with him on Sunday was, it looked like a guy who went out there on senior night, whether it be in high school, whether it be in college at his alma mater. He got dome from some dime in the morning right before the game. He just went out and was he was the fucking man again. He was the man again.
He did his whip and nene.
He was grabbing.
If this was an edited show, you could put that in, but this is an unedited show. So
he was grabbing his sack on the sideline, pointing at Derrick Henry. He was putting the flag of OU in the freaking Tiger at LSU, whatever game that was, just sticking it in there. He just felt like he was talk about back. He felt like he was back. And I've given him a lot of shit over the past.
For the first half, though, only the first half.
Yeah. But I mean, listen, 4 touchdowns in the first half and balling out. I think that he does not do that again. I can't trust. I was mystified watching that performance, which tells me that it doesn't come around too often with him. So I don't think that happens again. You might be able to rely on the running game. The running game is strong with Cleveland for sure. There's no doubt about that. But I also think that there is something about the Baltimore offense and the Baltimore team in general that speaks mojo. When they're clicking, you can tell. There's a chemistry that they have about them that it looked a lot different against the Cowboys, and I know that it's against the Cowboys. But there was something there, even in the post-game press conferences, talking all the shit on Twitter about big trust and everything for Lamar. There was something about that, post-game that just kind of maybe just, oh, wait, yeah, duh, right, the Ravens. It's the Ravens. It's the Ravens, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. I think J.K. Dobbins is, pumped. I think – what's that?
They won't give him the ball.
Not yet. Not yet. That's a playoff special.
They did at the goal line to end the game.
I think that I have to take the Ravens here. I don't really care for it because I think this is going to be a great game, but I just don't trust. I don't trust the Browns. I still can't. They're fucking 9-3. This is the best Browns team of our conscious lifetime, and I can't trust them. I can't do it.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
So, if you saw Senior Night Baker last week, wouldn't this be Rookie Year Baker that comes out today? And Rookie Year Baker was good Baker.
Depends if it's senior night in high school. It means he ends up at Texas Tech and then just doesn't play.
No.
Well, if he doesn't play, then I'd say the Browns are in trouble.
basically, I think like the main shtick about Baker last weekend was
I'm
the
kidding.
fact
You don't
that
have to answer that question.
I'm just saying that I think that like I haven't seen that from him in so long. Like it was crazy. Like again, like it looked like he just like he got a blowjob that morning. I don't mean to
Maybe
be.
he has a swagger
That's
back.
what it sounded. That's what it looked like. That's what it
One,
looked like.
Yo, so
one thing to
then
note,
tell him to get,
possible the Ravens are trying to be the Titans of last year because they beat them in the playoffs last year. They're like, winning games in the regular season doesn't matter. Let's just win them in the playoffs. Might be trying to change things up.
I will never bet on the Ravens in the playoffs. I don't think I'll ever see them win a playoff game in my lifetime.
wow.
You mean the
That is
Ravens?
a bold statement. They won like 2 Super Bowls in your
Yeah.
lifetime.
I'm sorry, with Lamar Jackson. Sorry.
So yeah, we'll see about that. That's a pretty bold statement. Those
Like,
are
Joe, unless you plan on dropping dead tomorrow, these are
Yeah,
some bad odds.
yeah,
I'm just saying they get to the playoffs and then they forget how to play.
not this year. They're pretending to be the Titans this year. Those are our 5 games of the week. It is time for Homer Hits.
Yeah, it is.
Unfortunately,
Sommer's not going to be on tonight. Sorry, dude.
Some
I can lead off because my game's gonna be over by the time this.
it's on in about
is released.
20
So
minutes.
you guys,
On in about 20
yeah.
minutes.
So you guys can see how wrong or right I was when you viewed this. So obviously, I've been saying the Patriots are going to go 10-6. They're going to make the Super Bowl. The line opened up as Rams -6.5. It has dropped to Rams -4.5, even with 65% of the money being on the Rams. So Vegas just wants more people to bet on the Rams. Therefore, I'm taking the Patriots. I've actually already bet this game. I bought it up to 5. I did like the sound of the under, but too many people were on the under, even though there was a more higher money percent on the under. So I'm going to stay away from that. But sharps are on the under. So if you would like to sprinkle that, even though this game's already happened, maybe sure, take that. One other thing I do want to say just about the Patriots, not about this game in general. To get to the Super Bowl, they are going to have to play in round 1, either the Steelers or the Chiefs on the road. And then in round 2, the other one that they didn't play in round 1 on the road again. And then probably like the Titans in the AFC Championship game. So that's going to be a hell of a run to make to the Super Bowl, where, low-key, I think they play the Rams. I think the Rams are a Super Bowl team out of the NFC.
I think that's insane.
That's my hot take.
Yeah. Joe.
Hot take.
Yeah, I don't know
know
about the hot take, but I do think really quick before I jump into the Eagles game, just for my credit, that I am also all over the Patriots tonight. I like the under, but I still have 20 minutes to decide whether or not I'm going to actually take that. But I do love the Patriots tonight. I think I'm actually going to just roll with them pretty heavily on just money line. So
money line, I love that.
Yeah, I love them outright. So the Saints coming in. Jalen Hurts first start in his NFL career. I can't help but laugh at my team right now. I think that I would, as a gambler, look at this in a Sami spread sense by seeing that the line opens at -7 in favor of the road team, the Saints. 65% of the bets are on the Saints. Almost 90% of the money is on the Saints, and yet the line drops down to 6.5. Therefore, it works for me because I promised I would never go against the Eagles again. I'm not touching this game with a 10-foot pole, but for all of you who do want to touch it, you're taking the Eagles +7.
Eagles
That's
are
what
the
happened
kings of the
last week with the
backdoor cover.
Packers. Well, no, they got backdoored last week.
Yeah, that's true. They got reverse backdoored last week.
Yeah.
They
But
backdoored
for the most
and
part,
then
they're the
got
king.
backdoored.
What?
They backdoored. They had the back door. They were in the back door. And
They were there.
Pushed them out.
Yep.
Yeah, the Packers
Aaron
pushed
Jones-
them out and went
Aaron
through their own
Jones
back
is
door.
like, no backdoor. No backdoor. Give me all the fans.
Just Nick Chubb it, sit on it once you get the first down. Jesus.
Yeah, that was tough.
Ugh, brutal.
But those are Homer Hits. Now, as for the time you have all been waiting for, I know it. I know Joe knows it. I know Sam knows it. It's time for the Mortal Locks of the Week. No sound effects because this is an unedited pod. We will start with my props of the week. Last week I didn't have any props for you, but I did tell you to bet Justin Jefferson. We went over that. Hope you did that because Justin Herbert laid an egg against Belichick, and it's kind of a toss-up now. For props this week, you'll see this after it airs, but Cam Akers, I think the Rams will run the ball a lot in this game, just trying to maintain ball control, not have Jared Goff throw is like the best practice for winning. Cam Akers over 11.5 carries, toted the rock over 64% of the time last week for the Rams. My other prop is Jared Goff under 270.5 or passing yards. That number's moved down a little bit. There's been a lot of action on it. But yeah, Jared Goff under passing. I think this is a big running game for the Rams. Moving on to these guys, mortal locks of the week. Joe, since you were the winner, you will go second. Sam, what do you got as your first mortal lock?
Yeah, so I alluded to this earlier, but last time on the unedited show, I went 10-0. This time it's an unedited show. I don't expect to go 10-0 again, but last time I did on the 10-0 show is I went all over unders with my mortal locks, so I'm going to do the same exact thing again this week because I actually hate every single line, even though I just gave 6 picks out on lines. You could take those if you want. I don't care. These are the picks that you have to take. So the first one, I actually think Joe mentioned it earlier and kind of stole a little bit of my thunder, but the Indy Oakland under 51, it opened at 52. It has moved to 51. 71% of the bets are on the over, while 70% of the money is on the over. 70% of the money is on the under. Sharps are on the under. Sam is on the under. We get back on track this week, and we do well. This is the first of 3 great picks.
You did the same exact thing that I did when I was saying that in our picks section, where I got the under, over, money bets all confuddled. And you said it completely wrong there. But to clarify, it was 71% of the bets are on the over. 29% of the bets are on the under, yet 70% of the money is on the under. That's sharp money.
Correct.
Under. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. Got it.
Thanks for clarifying. I don't know that I fucked that up, but I will watch, and I probably did.
I think that this is a little scary because I think so far in all of the over-unders that I've picked in the pick segment, I took all unders. And I think right now the pick that I'm about to make based on the pick you just made, it's getting a little scary that in a year where you should have no business taking any unders, we're taking all unders. So my first lock is going to be Arizona at the Giants. Over under is set at 45.5. I'm taking the under. So if you look at the open line here, it opens at 45. 36% of the money is on, 36% of the bets are on the under, and yet almost 70% of the money is on the under. So I will be taking the under. It's moved up to 45.5 on DraftKings, but over 44 or 44.5 on MGM. I'll take 45.5 because nobody uses MGM. So yeah, Arizona Giants under 45.5.
Under or over?
Under.
Wow. Under.
That's why I'm worried. I'm worried we're taking a lot of unders right now.
Guys,
so
it's not under until it's over. That's the thing. It's not under until it's over. And
That's true, but
it is under until it's over.
That's true. Right now it's under. Right now it's under. They haven't even played yet. It's under.
It's not under until it's over.
We're in the money right now.
No, it is under until it's over.
No, it's not under until it's over because until the game's end, until the game ended, it could still go over. It's not under until
we're in the money right now.
Over in that scenario, I'm saying over in points. You're saying
it's
over.
It's a play on words. Okay. It's shout out VC. Yeah. That's a play on words.
Statman Cam coming in hot with the play on words.
Yeah.
Before I get to my second pick, I'm also a little concerned because all 3 of my picks are unders.
God damn.
Oh my god.
That's not good. Do I have to pick other unders? I don't. The rest of my mortal locks actually one is currently not an under.
Wow. Credit to you guys. The weather could play a factor this weekend. I assume that's why you're doing it.
No, but mine's all line movement based. But hopefully that helps. The weather in this game won't matter though. My second pick. Washington, San Francisco, I have the under 43. It opened at 43.5. It's moved to 43. I know that's not a big line movement, but there's, 68% of the bets are on the over, while 56% of the money is on the under. So a lot of, public bets are on the over, whereas all the sharps are taking the under. So I like to be on the side of the sharps. I'll take that under as well, 43. That's my pick there. And that's a fucking tiny ass under. My balls are in my stomach thinking about that under.
Hedge yourself with the defensive touchdown in that game, because that's coming.
Ooh, I might like that. I do like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna break the trend here a little bit. I think that's just necessary before we get to our third and final pick. So Jets Seahawks. This pick I probably have no business taking, especially after seeing the Seahawks failure against the Giants defense. Pretty good though.
Yeah.
Last weekend. But maybe I would hope that Russell Wilson is a guy that can come out and perform a week after he was lacking.
No, you're not doing what I think you're about to do.
There are 34% of the bets are on the over, but 70% of the money is on the over. The line has not moved. It hasn't moved. 47.5. I'm going to take the over.
I like that. I thought you were about to take the Seahawks. I'm okay with that.
Thank you.
I like that pick. That's a great pick.
Thank you.
Can I
Do you want to double?
Can I get a fourth pick?
Yeah. Add that to your card.
Yeah, I might. I'm going to add that to my card. That's going to be my fourth more than one.
Add it to your card. And at the end of all of your picks, I'm going to have you read them back to me. Instead of having a lock off, I'm going to join you on one of yours. We're going to have four.
Wow, I love that.
Guys, Thanksgiving was like 2 weeks ago.
Listen, I need to help less fortunate.
It's Christmas. It's the season. It's Christmas for giving.
Hanukkah does
giving money to Hanukkah, yeah.
Hanukkah starts tomorrow. So.
Wow. Happy Hanukkah, all my Jewish friends. Happy half Hanukkah to you, Cam. Last pick is Houston at Chicago. I like the under 45 there. It opened 45.5. Again, not a lot of my line movement, only on half a point, but 65% of the money is on the over. I can't read my handwriting. I think 84% of the money is on the over.
Yeah, almost
65% of the bets.
90. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know why. So I think Vegas just wants you to bet the over there, and still move down. So I'm going to take the under.
It's really funny
that fade the sharps.
It's pretty funny that was your third and final game, because that's also my third and final game, but it's not an over/under pick. I'm just taking the Texans here. I mean, the Bears look horrible.
Horrible. That line makes no sense.
Horrible.
That line makes no sense.
I know. I know that I have no reason taking the Texans here, but if you put me, my football brain does not allow me to suggest that Deshaun Watson will not be Mitch Trubisky. Like, there's just I can't wrap my head around it. I don't care about the defenses. I don't care about the playmakers. I don't care about anything. There's no way that Chicago wins this game. There's no reason for them to win the game.
Watson's called out Chicago multiple times for not drafting him too. So that's
Fuck Chicago. They stink. They should have won that Detroit game easy, and they fucking gave it up. Fuck Chicago. Sorry to all the Chicago people that I was really nice to a couple of weeks ago. Fuck your team. They stink. Houston, pick them, money line, whatever. You're taking Houston here for sure. Lock it in. Sam, read me back your three.
So here's my card. It's under.
I know what one I want. You don't even have to read it. I know what one I want.
You said it earlier.
I want the Colts Raiders. I want the Colts Raiders.
Okay. So I'm gonna say this because it's an unedited show, and I always pick Sunday morning from watching the show. I'm just gonna say it so I know I can come to this point to say all my picks, so I don't have to watch the 10 minutes of in between of us going back. So I am on the under 51 in Indy, Oakland. I'm under 43 Washington, San Francisco, under 45 in Houston, Chicago, and over 47.5 in the Seattle Jets game.
Yes. Okay. And then for my sake here, I am on the under in Arizona, New York, 45.5. I am on the over in the Jets Seahawks over 47.5. I have Houston money line or whatever line that may potentially move to. It's -1 right now. So -1 for Houston. And then I'm also on the under for Indy Las Vegas. What was that again, Sam?
51.
51. All right.
I also love that under in Arizona Giants. I also love that one. I'm not going to add it to my card, but I love it. Just a great pick. You're doing a great job, Joe.
Thank you.
Free pick for the viewers.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. I have 7 minutes to get my bet in for this Thursday night game and also update all of my fantasy leagues. So ta-ta for now. See you guys
Welcome to
next
Fantasy
week.
Playoffs, people. Thank you to Millar Lattes for sponsoring this week. Have a great week, everybody.
See you guys.